guys. Well, to say that I have voiceovered this video 3 times now and to say that I'm very, very happy is a major understatement. Okay, let's try again. Third time lucky. Wish me luck. So what you just saw was the MARTE Dimension acrylic paints. Now, I've gone ahead and sprayed the back of this 12x12 KAISERCRAFT cobblestone stencil. I sprayed it with my Crafter's Choice spray adhesive. Why do I do that? I have learnt the thing that I hate about stencils is when you want it to be accurate and you want it to go on there perfectly and you lift it off only to be disappointed because it's bled through and it wasn't a nice clean stencil. There's a way to avoid that. The way to do that is to use a temporary adhesive on the back of your stencil. It does not damage your stencil. It does not damage your cardstock, although test your cardstocks, because I do have one that is a super cheap cardstock and it's not a very good, doesn't have a good core in it. So it does, I always test that one. So always test first on a small piece if you can. But I have found personally that this one, and I bought mine from Spotlight, it was like, I think it was $15, $16. It was around that price tag. And it's a giant tin. It's going to last me for eons. Alrighty, what am I doing? I wanted to create a messy, painty background. So what I decided to do is I chose a colour theme, like a colour umbrella, which I chose blues. And I pulled out my Dimension acrylics. What are these? These, I've got the whole big box set of, like, I think there's 60 something in there. You don't have to buy all of them. If you go to your local, first of all, if you're Aussie, you can go to KAISERCRAFT. You can get these from your $2 shops. I know here in Caboolture we've got King Kongs. They sell them. A lot of the $2 stores run with the MARTE products in them. They are a really, really good quality paint / drawing medium art line that it's not artist quality. I can't say it's not artist quality. It is good. Like, I find for what I do that very, very often MARTE products totally serve my purpose. These particular paints, they're thicker. They're dimensional acrylics. So what they do is when you wipe them on and you leave a little bit of thickness, you can water them down. You can use them like a normal paint if that's what you want to do. A normal water acrylic, not a problem. But if you want to create dimension without having to use an additional medium such as modeling, I use modeling paste. Again, I use the MARTE one. My modeling paste at the moment is white. You can get a clear version of it, which I haven't replaced mine because I just went with the modeling paste and thought she'll be right, mate. But problem with that is when you add something to a white medium, it dilutes your color. So that is something that I will end up purchasing more of the clear stuff because that bothers me. I like my colors to be true to when I'm using them. Okay, enough waffle about that. Now, what I'm doing is I will list the colors below that I used. I end up using 1, 2, 3, 4. I used 5 different colors, and I started with the darkest one on the outside, and I'm slightly blending them, and they're just coming in a little bit lighter towards the center. Hindsight, I wish I had done the turquoise on the outside and come into a darker center rather than doing dark into light. That, if you give it a crack, let me know and have share it on our Facebook group. We have a beautiful bunch of ladies over there. I haven't got any men yet, but I have a bunch of ladies. See, it holds it down. Okay, I'm being very careful here because it's kind of grabbing and I'm still wincing even though I know it came off perfectly. Okay, so I'm trying not to, with that, I tried so hard not to drop it back down onto it because then it just would have been a disaster and it would have drove me up the wall, but that's okay. So I have pulled out this particular page. I wanted it to be all about the cobblestone blue texture paint in the background. So I don't want to over embellish. I went with blue because, as you can see, my dear darling daughter at the time, who was about 7 or 8, I used to do family daycare. Okay, so she actually came to, she went to my change table area where I used to change my babies, and she grabbed some of the plastic gloves and she went to the kitchen and she filled them up. And she walked out to me in the lounge room with these 2 gloves that were full of water. Essentially, water bombs. I tell you what, I nearly had kittens because she was standing in the middle of my lounge room with grey carpet. And I'm like, if you drop them, oh my God, get them outside. So I don't have an issue with my kids doing stuff like that, but if someone's going to trip, it'll be her. If someone's going to kick their toe, it will be her. It just, coordination at that point in her life was just not very good. So I was very stressed. But it's okay. She didn't drop them. She dropped them outside. It was okay. I need to have more faith in my children, I suppose. I just really didn't want to clean up the water, to be honest. But this was years ago. Anyway. So that's what I wanted to add a little bit of embellishment, not a lot, and I wanted to create a little tiny title. So instead of having, quite often I like to create a big bold title and make it about the title, and that's the colors and it really stands out. But today I wanted to make it about this cobblestone pattern, and you can run your hands across it and it feels so good. Oh my goodness, I love it. So I don't know why I don't use these paints more often through my stencils, because they are the best. Now, I've gone ahead and now I am, I continue here. Now what I decide to do is, that's just a cute little verse that I've put on underneath the bird there. Sorry, I need to take a drink. I have had to do, I've so far this morning, this is not a complaint. It could be a complaint. I use iMovie to edit my videos and do my voiceovers and add the beginning and the ending and all that sort of stuff. Because, well, I find it the easiest one to use. Okay, now I've said that, this morning iMovie is giving me grief. Like no other. It's got me like a donkey on the edge. Okay, I've literally voice-overed this video, and now I feel like I'm repeating myself, and I can't remember if I've said it or I haven't said it in this particular recording. I even loaded this up to YouTube, and it had no voiceover on it. I don't even know why. So I had to delete it from YouTube, and I have to start again. These are the things that nobody really tells you when you think to yourself, oh, I might give this YouTube thing a crack. Well, let me tell you, it is great. I love every part of it. I really do. I genuinely, I never thought I would enjoy creating videos and talking to myself in a room, because that was something really hard to get used to, let me tell you. Talking to yourself. You feel like you're going crazy. But I've got my daughter's dog in here with me again. If you hear snoring in the background, I promise it's not me. He's just got bored with listening to me repeat myself. And this is the 4th time on this particular video. So he's just passed out in the corner. He's no longer caring. But, okay. So, apologies for any snoring. So I wanted to create a small title. I didn't want a big bold title. I wanted it to be about the cobblestone in the background, the bricks, if you will. Now, I just go ahead and glue all this down. That was an excessive amount of glue. You know, the more I watch this, the more I realise art glitter glue, you don't need that much of it. The stuff is, one, it's expensive, but two, it holds, and it holds well. It is awesome. Okay, so with my stencil, I intentionally made the border of the stencil my border on my page. And then what I decided to do was go around with my POSCA bullet shaped blue paint pen, and I just did a double line all the way around. And then what I decided to do was go through and add just some little marks in between those two lines, just at random sizes, random intervals, just to sort of create, it's not a cobblestone, it's not a brick, but just a fancy border. This is one of the easiest things you can do. So this entire page has come together with paint, albeit texture paint, but you could still get a really good effect even if it wasn't texture paint. You could just use I use makeup sponges that you get from Kmart with my paints, my acrylic paints. You could just dab that through and just keep it really thin. Or if you've got texture paste, add some of your paint to your texture paste and you could make it raised up like mine. You could use inks to do this. You could make it into a rainbow. You could do monochromatic. You could do, I'm actually thinking of doing something, my next page that I do, I haven't done a monochromatic page for a while, and I'm thinking I might do yellows. Monochromatic yellows. So everything yellow. I may have to print a black and white photo for it though, because to be honest, my kids don't wear yellow. I love yellow, but I don't wear it. I wear black all the time. Very rarely, here's a bit of insight to me, very, very rarely do I wear much colour at all. It's pretty much always black. And ironically, my fingernails are black in this video. So now I have finished waffling. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. I would sincerely appreciate it. It helps get my video out there so other people can find me. And I post 6 videos a week, so lots of inspiration. And I would also like a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Leave me a comment below. I want to know who's panicking about Christmas. Anybody else? Because it was the 25th yesterday. We've got 3 months, guys. 3 months until Christmas. I cannot believe it. It's crazy. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will chat to you real soon. Bye.